Notice is hereby given of a regular meeting of the Board of Directors of the District to be held at 105 Fort Road, Port Isabel, Texas, on the 22nd day of April 2015 at the hour of 6 p.m. for the consideration of the business of the agenda below. This notice is posted at the office of the district on April 16, 2015 at 8:30 a.m. in accordance with the Texas Opens Meeting Act, and a copy has been furnished to the county clerk in Cameron County, Texas. The meeting is called to order. There is a quorum. Please note that Director Scott Freeman is not in attendance at this moment. Item 2. Everybody rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Slow down, I'm old.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 3 is invitation to the audience for discussion. Got a big audience?
Yeah.
All right. Item 4, consider and approve minutes for the regular meeting of April 8th, 2015.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Thomas, second by Mr. Wells. All those in favor say aye.
Question.
Question, Mr. Thomas.
Question. No,
Yes,
I
sir.
don't have a question, but you need to ask for the question.
Ask for the question. Any questions? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 5, General Manager's Report. Mr. Govan.
Sir, Mr. Chairman and members of the board, I sent backups on the past elections from 2006 to 2014. If y'all see the numbers that are in there, it looks like 2012 was the highest at 2805. That went to voting the polls, the highest, and then 2014 is 2096, and we believe that in 2004 was another high one, but it was 1943 only. So going to say that last two elections, 2012 and 14, we had the higher than in the May elections. So just for your record, look at it, and that way, for the next meeting, I'd like to put an agenda item, see if y'all decide to go back to May or stay in November, and then y'all just advise me.
I don't think that's something you should put on you yourself should put on the agenda. If one of the board members wants to have it put on the agenda, let them put it on the agenda.
Okay.
As far as removing the date.
To put something on the agenda for that, let me know, and we'll put it in there. And y'all decide after that.
Sure. Yeah.
As an agenda item, because I don't want, that way we can take care of our training, and we are gonna do the training as soon as we can. I believe it's until December this year, 2015.
Awesome.
So, and hopefully we can get somebody else in here, you know, and kind of explain our own elections. If we can get somebody else before the December 15, 2015.
Okay.
I'd like to have somebody that would come over and, you know, teach us a little bit of it.
Okay, Mr. Thomas, you have a question for the General Manager?
Why go back to May?
Well, y'all can decide.
That's like I said, if somebody,
That's a question on the floor.
I'm just saying, if somebody wants to put it on the agenda, they're more than welcome to put it on the agenda for the next meeting, but as far as we can tell from the numbers,
I'd like to look at the board of directors here, why go back to May? Give me a reason, I'll put it on the board if you can give me a reason.
I have no idea. We get 1,000 more people showing up in November than we do in May, it seems like, so.
I have no.
Getting a better turnout?
Getting a better turnout, yeah.
Yeah, no, we've discussed it already enough to.
Well, I'm not gonna put it on the agenda.
That's fine, good.
Okay.
Anyhow, that was my report on that one, and then the,
Works for me.
wanted to mention on the second one, the Laguna Madre Water District website, we implemented or put the photos that we from the board and the management, all the administration. I think we're lacking a couple of them, the Director of Finance and Secretary.
Okay.
And we looking forward to getting those in there also.
I know in Laguna Vista they have but they have on their website of their mayor and then their city council member, they have a little bio also.
Right.
So I'm just, is that something we want to do with our picture? Put a little biography underneath it?
I don't think so. Padre Island has it.
Oh, all right.
But,
I think the island has it too, right? The
yeah.
little bio?
Well,
Yeah.
no, I don't think South Padre has a bio,
No.
just a picture.
Just a
And,
picture, alright, let's leave it like that then. That's fine.
So, then the next one that I have is the, Water Masters report. We're at the 50.81% as of the end of March, you know, but I'm still gonna keep the, conservation measures.
We're up to what? Excuse me, they brought us up to where?
50.8% combined, Amistad and Falcon Lakes. I sent you a report, last week.
50%.
Above, 50, yes. So that means that we're not in the conservation measures, because below 50, we always start, implementing.
No, let's keep it up, keep it up.
So,
We still might use some water.
Yeah.
the last time, let me drink that.
We're alright.
I'm thinking we need to run an ad, use water.
We're
What
alright.
if
From
they
the looks of
given
those
us-
numbers we're running,
Getting
Right.
kinda loose here,
I feel like
guys.
we're running about $100,000 a month behind.
I think we need to start.
We've
We're,
got a lot
we're on
of
the,
rain also
we're on the
with-
Water Masters report. Okay.
Okay, yeah, and the Water Masters, so I'm gonna keep the conservation plan in place until, you know, we get higher than 75% maybe.
Okay.
But the other thing is that we need to keep the, drought management plan in place. That's, giving tips all the time to all the customers, and on their website and on their bills, you know, just putting tips like, when you brush your teeth, don't let the water run, stuff like that, change your toilet, you know, to different, conservation type. So all that management is something different, but should be in place also.
Okay.
So I'm gonna keep that in place. The other thing is that we did,
Hold on, Mr. Trump.
get a call from the Water Master to pump some water at no charge. One of them was first part of last week, then we got 2 more calls, so we've been getting, no charge water, because
Okay.
of all the rain that's falling.
Good,
So
good.
we've been doing good on that one.
Fill them up.
Yeah, as much as we can, we'll do that. Right now, we're full, but
Mr. Thomas, you have a question?
Yes,
Well,
sir.
yeah, they took us down from our, 7,300 acre feet
Right.
to 50 whatever.
Six.
Have they brought us back up
Yes, they have.
to what?
As a matter of fact, at
Give
the
me a
beginning of the
shotgun.
year, we went to 7,300.
We're up to 73 again?
Yes, we are.
Okay, we're up to
From
100% then, or right close, okay.
Right. Any other questions?
That's really good. Excellent. All right.
That's it.
Anything else for the general manager? Just got two?
Thank you.
All right, awesome. Item number 6, District Engineers Report, Mr. Ortiz.
All right, so the first item I have on the report is the Port Isabel water distribution improvements. And, you know, as you're aware, there's been some complaints as far as, you know, rust getting in the lines in that area, like around South Shore, on that side of Highway 100. And so we do have some existing cast iron lines on Garcia Street, maybe that 4-inch. We're taking a look at doing some replacements. So right now our distribution crew's already out there, you know, doing some potholes. So that's gonna become one of our projects as far as being able to abandon a lot of those cast iron lines and just, you know, loop one of the dead ends that are out there and get all that taken care of.
All right, good. What, anticipate as far as how long?
Well, we'll probably start the first section on Garcia Street this summer. We're gonna wait till school's out.
We're gonna wait till school's out, it's, you know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of the area we don't know where the lines are at, it's just bad mapping from way back when. So we don't wanna take the chance, so if we break a line, we're gonna school, so.
Right, right. Okay, Mr. Thomas?
Yeah, are we gonna do that on in-house? We're gonna contract it out?
In-house.
The plan is in-house right now.
In-house, right?
Yes.
So we're gonna have a whole lot of Garcia Street to patch back too. Has anybody put a pencil to what's gonna cost?
We're gonna try to stay away from the main road. We're gonna go on the east, on the right of way, you know, where we don't have to tear the street down.
So the
Cap the
existing,
lines in one end
you tie it in on both ends and then abandon the, okay.
we had too many issues.
To the alleys.
Yeah, we've had too many issues on the street repairs that have been costing us, so, especially on that Garcia, street.
Have we looked at any of the other ones, because what, Rick's got dingy clothes. Where'd he go? There he is over there,
Yeah, there's about 3 different
You know, a
spots.
lot of people around town have been actually,
Yeah, I know we had one the other day came out.
what they're getting is rust in the water, okay? and we sat down and we did a lot of the things. What would be nice if instead of the community just bitching and not letting us know where it's showing up and when it's showing up, why couldn't we put something in the NEMR billing cycle? If you're experiencing, of course that can open a can of worms too, but if you're experiencing rust, give us a call and your address, physical address. Because we know we've got these old steel lines and stuff and cast iron lines, whatever, all over the place. Well, they're closing up. They did some flow charts down and they don't flow, right?
Right, we had a real.
Hope your house don't burn down there, because we're gonna get you about 20 gallons a minute or something.
Yeah, I think
on
the fire flow should have
hydrant.
dropped 4 PSI, and it drops to 25 PSI, so there's problems with capacity.
So we may have, some serious money issues here right in Port Isabel on our water thing, and Lord knows we're operating on a deficit right now. We're not making any money. And that's because we've had rain and people aren't watering. I'm almost down to my minimum. But anyway,
I got a comment actually. If that's not a bad idea about maybe putting something in just for the Port Isabel billing, saying that we are going to be replacing some old cast iron lines. If you have experienced anything, please, let us know, and so we can maybe further identify some other lines we need to, other cast irons maybe just word it that way. Would that work?
the public can help us on this.
Yeah.
Not coming in here giving us a whole hard time about things, but saying, yes, I was noticing that I've got rust in the, one guy, apparently, I don't know what happened, but they had to take an almost new water heater outside, turn it upside down and flush it out because it was full of stuff. I mean,
That was on Jefferson.
okay, yeah, it was what Michael Jones's place.
110 West Jefferson, or East Jefferson.
Yeah.
Right, and we know that the line that a service connection is tied to is one of the cast iron lines that we
I
need to
think that's
replace.
right where most of the problem is right now.
Well, it'd help us in our direction.
Yeah. You can maybe do that for the next billing cycle.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. Okay.
Now
And I
tell
think
us-
we are gonna do that only for Port Isabel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, Mr. Ortiz? You got wind turbine generators?
Yeah, wind turbine generators. So, we were dealing with that one company who had given us a proposal, and I had requested a sole source letter, which from reviewing the sole source letter, they're one of many providers that are out there, so it's really not a sole source item that we would consider at this point. We'd have to put out a request for proposals to follow the proper procurement if we want to consider wind turbine generators at some point. So since they couldn't get that exclusivity, they decided it wasn't time to come and present at the workshop, so that's why our workshop ended up getting canceled. And so, at the feasibility study that we submitted for reclamation, we still have those two 100 kilowatt turbines proposed, and so if that job starts to open up, that's when we'll really consider those down the road. And then as far as the wind turbine at Laguna Vista, right now we're still trying to work with Balch, but it's still at the same condition. We did have a site meeting last Friday to try to figure out what we need to do to get it fixed. And so at this point, we're reviewing the submittal and trying to find out what that generator that's already up there actually is. So once we know what it can produce, we can start fixing the inverters and the blades. And so we're trying to get a clean submittal and tracking down the actual manufacturers, because the original subcontractor went bankrupt. And so we're sort of chasing it down at this point.
So let me ask you a question. So when we get equipment put in by an outside vendor, they don't give us paperwork saying what brand it is? We don't get an owner's manual like at my house when I buy a new refrigerator, I get an owner's manual? We don't get anything like that?
They're required to do it, and all they have on their submittal for the O&M is the inverter, which is one component. There's nothing in the O&M manuals on the generator, the blades. I mean, there's a lot of components where they didn't provide anything.
But we paid them.
Right, and it's under warranty.
That's what I was
And being that our final payment was in January of 2014, because it wasn't working at that point, or else we wouldn't have released retainage. We did give them a notice back in November about all these problems we were having, so it's within that 1-year warranty period. And we're at that point where it still hasn't been resolved, and I guess technically the 1 year would have been January of 2015. And so we're still, I think, within statutes of the performance bond.
I know.
And-
I got also another comment, maybe we don't make full payment unless we get all the paperwork and all the schematics and everything in place before we make final payment. Let's
Yeah.
make sure we have everything in-house before we let go of final
Yeah,
payment.
I agree, and the pressure on that one was getting the grant cooperative agreement closed out.
I know.
But regardless, I mean, we still have a warranty claim that there's some avenues we can still, get compensated, or at least, go through the bonding company or surety to get it repaired.
Bonding company. All right.
Before we go any further with wind though, have we checked into federal subsidies that might be involved? Looks to me like that's the only way those things could be.
Right. And with reclamation, I mean, that would be funded, if it's the water, energy, and efficiency grants, those are funded 50%, or up to 50%, and with this Title 16, which is tied to a larger project, it would be funded up to 25%. So if those grants, basically, like, we were looking at the actual criteria, the renewable energies is about 16 points out of 100 points that they would consider to rank your project. So that's why it's in there, because it, helps you get a little more, points to make a funding line. But that's kind of where it's tied to right now.
Yeah, Mr. Thomas?
Back when our wind turbine was working
Mm-hmm.
on Laguna Vista, can we go back and see how much it affected the electric bill out there?
Yeah, I can review it and see if...
Because,
Mhm.
Well, if they're gonna fix it for free because it's under warranty, my attitude is go fix it.
Right.
We don't wanna talk to you, don't anything, just get it working and we're happy and we're gonna
Right.
hug you and kiss you, right?
But the fact that they're not fixing it
But
is...
we find out we need $50,000 to save us $25 a month because we've got a wind turbine. That money don't wash, boys, I'm telling you, it's just, I'm sorry, it just,
Right. And so at this point, we need to figure out, what steps we need to take since the contractor isn't fulfilling the warranty requirement for the project.
Okay, keep on it. Any other questions for the engineer? All right, move on to item number 7, presentation by Orbit Broadband LLC on the phone system and network for the district.
Mr. Chairman, as you recall, Richard Galvan from Orbit Broadband.
Good evening, Chairman, Directors. I've got this handout. Can I pass it to you guys?
Sure.
You can follow. Okay. We've had some reports and some concerns regarding the phone system. Basically, internet has been good, but the phone system is not up to par. At least not up to par from our standards. So one of the things that we've done is we upgraded the router. This is an enterprise router that we're using now. I decided to do it on my own. Wanted to test it. It's a new product that's out by Drake Tech. It's got a level of priority inbound and outbound quality, so for quality of service. What this allows us to do is separate the data. Audio and video, it's all data going over the internet, but they can be isolated. So this Drake Tech router allows us to isolate audio or the phone system compared to everything else going over the internet. We implemented this about 3 weeks ago, and we've noticed a better quality of service for the phone systems. But it also has a level of control, and that level of control enhances security when it comes to audio files going in and out of the internet as well. So what we've done is we took in all the phone calls coming in or going out, and we placed them on top of everything else. So we prioritize that. There has been a better quality than we've experienced, but we're still asking customer service or anybody to let us know when they have a call or if there's a drop call, and I'll get to that in a second. Laguna Madre Water District was working at about 10 megabits per second we deliver a full duplex, meaning 10 megs up and 10 megs down, so we don't throttle or create a bottleneck. And we allocated 6 megs to the phone lines, and where 3 megs was only previously allocated. So again, we've placed those audio files or the phone calls on top. There's no limitations on this router either, which means that we can ensure that not one device is hogging up all the bandwidth or taking all the draw from the internet. Today we went through an upgrade and we increased it to 20 megs. So we'll be managing that over the next couple of weeks. Item number 3 is an internal. We did notice that there was some of the bandwidth being used internally. We've had some discussions with the administrations and we're addressing that. And once we get a full report, we'll let you know where we're at with that.
I have a question. Going back to number 2, is 20
megs.
20 going to be enough?
20 up and down is phenomenal.
Okay.
It is. 20 down and 2 up is, you know, it is what it is. But when you have a 20 meg pipe, there really is a lot of room to grow. You guys are consuming 7 to 8 megs at any given time. But we are adding more projects as we speak, so that's why we've increased to 20 megs. If it's not, we'll increase it. I'm pleased that we've got an enterprise router in place that is going to allow us to target the suspect areas. And your phone system allows us to track a call when it's come in or when it's been reported. So every extension, it's software driven. A phone comes in and somebody says, well, yeah, somebody from the employee from the water district is harassing me. What time? It was about 2:30. Okay. So we'll track all the calls going out to that number at 2:30, which we can do. And vice versa, we can track calls coming in, right? Mr. Thomas called in at about 2:15 today. He said it was garbled. We're going to look at that and isolate why that was the case. We were doing some network upgrades today, and I know the phone guy was here working on a few things, but at least now I can take Mr. Thomas's call and find out why we had issues with that phone call.
Okay, perfect.
So I feel the efficiency inside is going to increase. Again, we've asked customer service to let us know if there's any drop calls with the date and time. So we can pinpoint and we can track them and see what the issues may be. And then today what we did is we finished installing additional equipment to our backhaul that goes from the tower here at Port Isabel all the way to our NOC, our Network Operating Center in Harlingen. And so we increased the size of the dish, we've increased the routers that are at our towers now. And what we're doing is we're going to take your traffic and we're going to isolate it. So we're going to separate you as opposed to virtually separating you on the access point. We're separating your traffic onto its own backbone. It's pretty extensive and pretty costly upgrade, but it's needed. One of the reasons and additional reasons is because we're adding more to your network. We're installing 18 security cameras. Right? These are IP cameras. So they'll be accessible and viewable over the internet using a username and password. Those are going to require a lot of bandwidth as well. We are installing, I think on 7 vehicles, shark fins, so that your maintenance crews can go out and access the internet from the towers that you have equipment on now and be able to send reports. Encode is a bear. It's huge, right? It's like shoving a brick. So with the increase in the backhaul, they'll be able to do reports online and send reports, and there'll be a lot better communication, especially in areas where you typically can't do that. Your efficiency in your operation is going to increase dramatically because now you don't have to go back to the warehouse for a work order, right? Or report a problem or talk about inventory you're going to need for a service call that's going to be coming out. So your efficiency internally is going to increase for that. So far, that's what we've been doing. Internally, I think Ugo's doing a good job. Everybody pleased with him so far? More or less.
I didn't get much positivity.
I didn't either.
I didn't get much positivity
I
out
didn't
of
either.
the staff there, Richard.
Yeah, I know. So I gotta follow up with that. But
Yeah, I think you might need to follow up on that.
yeah, I do need to follow up on that. We haven't had a security breach in the last couple of years. There's been some attacks, but we've been able to block those up front. And our main protocol that we've received is to get it fixed for the phone systems. So,
Richard, are you the ones in charge of setting up when somebody calls in, the recording that they get, to press this, to press that, to press this? That seems very, very awkward. Did you try it yet? To me, it just seems very, very awkward to get to somebody quicker.
okay.
It just seems awkward. You have to go through too many steps, I think. You know, I'm a little older, and I think somebody ought to be picking up the phone, to be honest with you. But that's y'all's call, obviously. But I just think it's a little awkward when you call in. I don't know how it can be streamlined.
It can be changed to fit anybody's preference. So if you want them to call in and say, thank you for calling Laguna Valley Water District, for customer service press 1, and then you stream down the line, 3 or 4 options is basically anybody's going to ever want to listen to. If you got to hit number 7 for an option, your call isn't going to be very pleasant when you get somebody on the phone. So we can streamline, or we can retrofit it to what the needs are for the public. And I would think, and what we've been able to tell, is that most people are calling in because they got a question about a bill, or they got a service outage. Now, there's various ways to report service outages now, right? And if you've got one, there's a button you can push to go directly to that.
That's one of the first things that pops up
Yeah.
when somebody calls, right? And if you have an outage, you
Right.
got an emergency, right?
So we're trying to escalate the majority of those phone calls. And what it does also, it allows for an individual to get directly to a department. I'm old school too, right? I tell my guys to answer the phone, but I don't have as many customers as you do. And so when a call comes in, we can direct them directly to an individual to answer the call. And it saves you guys on your phone plan. I mean, you pay by calls and minutes that you consume. I know we've reduced the amount from $4,000 to about $150 a month now. So there's been a huge...
That's outrageous.
Yeah, it is pretty outrageous. Yes, sir.
Mr. Thomas?
I'm looking at item number 3. Okay. You're blocking YouTube, Facebook, Netflix, and I don't know what half of these things, Instagram, Twitter, other social and video sites were eaten up by
People were watching movies.
Why were they even on there?
Well...
No. Well, no.
I have an answer.
First, I'll talk to these gentlemen over there. If that's what these guys are doing on the payroll, get them off the payroll. And to you, why did you even allow these things on there? I got a problem with that.
Well,
Some-
I can answer some of that.
Okay.
Charles is not here, but he's the one that uses a lot of that to Google information that he,
Okay. So
other
Charles
stuff.
has been downloading movies
No,
and
no,
music.
No, not
Like,
that.
for example,
Good,
the
we're gonna
Google
take
and
Charles out
research,
and
that's
block
something
him.
that we need to use.
Right.
But none of the social media, it's allowable, we shouldn't.
Yeah, but when you, excuse me, but when you Google something, how to, a lot of times a YouTube video shows up saying this is how to do it. This is how to fix something. This is how to
Right.
replace something. And so I can see where they are using YouTube. I can see where they're
Like water
using.
distribution,
But as far as
mentioning-
Pandora's all
Oh, yes.
Pandora's all music, Facebook, well, we all know what that. Netflix, I guess they're watching Fast and Furious #7 already. Instagram is pictures. Twitter's is not.
Right.
I can see YouTube where we're using YouTube.
I believe
Can
all
you
of them have
can you
been
take
passed.
an
This meeting-
individual?
This
Excuse
meeting
me,
is on
I think I
YouTube.
still had
That's
the
the way
floor
they
when I was asking these
transform it.
questions, sir.
Yes, sir, Mr. Thomas.
Still have the floor.
Yes, sir, you have the floor.
Charles needs any of these, can you block everybody else and put it just strictly on Charles, and no more, dirty movies, Charles.
Which one, number 3, Netflix? No, don't need Netflix.
Okay, and yes, Mr. Chairman, we can, and,
I don't even know.
and maybe I didn't
That's coming from
word
people-
this
that's coming
correctly.
from people's phones is what's coming.
We block these sites. It doesn't necessarily mean that these sites are actually what was consuming the bandwidth, but we block them. We like to take preemptive measures in order to ensure that not only are we protecting the water district
Can you
on
tell
a
us at this
legality
point
aspect.
How many of these sites were being used?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that question.
How many of these sites were being used?
I can't, I don't actually have a detailed, in regards, but YouTube is used as a training, application. I know a lot of the guys here use YouTube for training. We use it for YouTube training. Your meetings are on YouTube right now, so
Right here
it,
it states, we're not work related, so it's more than YouTube.
right. So what we did is,
Downloading movies is what the big deal is.
I'm not gonna,
And music,
and
streaming
Well,
music.
Netflix, isn't that all movies?
Yeah.
so we've blocked these.
Music.
And,
Carlos, have you spoken to the employees about this? They know, they just blocked it, they just, like, not necessarily that they're using them, but he's saying that they've blocked,
That's
Orbit
correct.
Broadband blocked all those, so y'all can be aware of that.
But, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Cantu, but Mr. Galvan, they've already put a notice out saying employees aren't allowed to use their cell phones in the office. They've already, that's
Personal cell phones.
personal cell phones for how long now? That's been in place for 6 months, a year?
No, about a year and a half.
About a year and a half now, so they, that's where you can eat up a lot of data. So
Right, but,
This
the
still
personal
says
cell
it's
phones.
what's one of the reasons that it's kind of overloaded our systems, that they've
But,
been
yeah,
doing
I mean,
that.
that's the thing, I mean, it says that it's, you know, that's what they're doing, what you
Well,
said.
they're gonna, looks like it's stopped now.
right, so again, a lot of preemptive work being placed into here. And we've talked to the administration about it. Everybody's in agreement, right, that we want to make sure the employees are productive and focusing on their job at hand. And what we're doing is we're implementing policies so that it kind of discourages them to go there, right? They may go to Facebook and it's going to be blocked. All right, well, you know, you may have some individuals that try again, but it's still going to be blocked. So these are preemptive measures that have been placed. We just started doing this not too long ago, and so now that we've been able to take take some of the applications that aren't work related and are focused on audio and focused on your data and focused on providing good quality for your cameras and are focused on implementing these different applications that are work related, we've already seen an increase, right, on productivity for work-related items. Any other preventive measures that we need to take place, we will. Okay, this is, and Mr. Thomas, this is SOP, right? This is standard operating procedure for any company or for any municipality, these type. And so the administration has agreed. So we've done that.
I'm not totally upset with you, I'm totally upset with everybody in the room over this.
I know at the school.
Phones haven't worked worth,
Sorry.
and now we're hearing more stuff going down, and it's like, come on, guys, can't we get this straightened out? I mean, this isn't rocket science.
Thank you, sir.
And if we got employees abusing this stuff, they need to be written up.
We understand.
Yeah, we'll make sure we stay on top of it for you.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you, guys.
Any more questions for Richard? Thank you, sir.
Okay, thanks.
All right, let's move on to item number 8, consider and award construction bid number LV 15-04-01 for the Laguna Vista sanitary sewer improvements. Mr. Ortiz?
All right, so this is the sewer replacement for Ebony Lane and also completing the rest of the cure-in-place pipe and the point repairs. And we advertised for about 30 days and opened bids on April 14th at 2 o'clock. And so we received 6 bids, and the low bidder was G&T Paving Company, for an amount of $961,640, and we are recommending approval to proceed with that full contract amount.
And the money's coming from
The Series 2012.
Series 2012,
bond.
okay. Very good. Questions?
Carlos, can you explain 2 and 3 real quick? Remove and replace 48-inch fiberglass manhole, all depths, and then include drop.
Yeah, well, basically the item 2, it's literally when they're replacing the gravity sewer on Ebony Lane, the manhole itself is just getting removed and replaced at the new elevation, because they're changing the grade of it, so they have to basically take it all out and put it back. And a drop structure just means that where there's 2 pipes intersecting, there's more than a 2-foot separation on those elevations, so you put a drop in there, and that's just a way to, the way you would handle, like, still being able to have access for lining or something, but then that drop takes care of, you know, sewer and stops clogs and that sort of thing.
Okay.
Or it prevents the gases, I suppose.
Prevents the gas.
Changing some flow rates and stuff
Yeah.
as they redo this. and it's just-
All right. We have a motion, please.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Thomas,
Second.
second by Mr. Cantu. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Big
Motion carries. Item 9, consider and approve board travel to Corpus Christi, Texas for the Association of Water Board Director Conference in June 2015. We have a motion to approve, please.
Well, I personally like to go,
Okay.
but that's mainly because I get to see all the new equipment that's coming out in the display areas and stuff like that. I
All
think
5?
Victor and
Okay.
Charles definitely need to go,
Okay.
and I think the 2 other new board members need to go.
I think they're all signed up.
Okay.
Everybody's all signed up? Great. Mr. Garvan?
Yes, sir.
All right, can we get a motion, please?
Make a motion.
We have a motion by Mr. Cantu,
Second.
second by Mr. Wells. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion carries. Item 10, consider and approve the financials for the month of March 2015. Can we get a motion, please?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Wells.
Another question real quick.
Well, let's get a second and then you can ask
Second.
your question.
Yeah,
Second by
question.
Mr. Thomas. Question for Mr. Cantu.
Yes. Carlos, right here where it says,
Page, yeah.
Washington and Ituria, on page 6, I'm sorry. Page 6, it says, $848.20.
Is that the financials or the disbursements? Those are the disbursements.
Oh, okay, okay.
Let's wait till the next item. Let's wait till the next item.
You're on disbursements.
Yeah, let's wait till the next
Okay.
item. All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 11, consider and approve disbursements. Let's get a motion, then we'll get your question. Motion and a second?
So
Second.
moved.
Motion by Mr. Wells, was a second by Mr. Cantu? Mr.
Page
Thomas?
6.
And we have a question by
Got it.
Mr. Cantu.
Page 6, Carlos, Washington and Ituria, $848 twice. Expense major repairs, R&R paving.
Twice.
How'd I miss that?
R&R paving does our
Disbursement.
asphalt and repairs. When we install a new line and tear up the street, they go and repair the lines. I don't know if it's twice. No. Unless it was.
What line item are you?
Can't be.
On 6.
Yeah, well, we had a water leak in that area, I think,
A couple months ago or something.
But there was two payments to them.
Oh, the total amount was, adding both of those together, cause there was a water leak at one part, and then we also had a sewer problem. So there was 2 parts of the street broken up, so they came and repaired, but in order for us to, distribute to the right account, we couldn't have and charged half to distribution and half to collection. That's right there twice.
Oh.
If you look at right there, the account, it's 004 and 03. That means 03 is distribution and 04 is collection.
Yeah, that's the only difference that I saw there, but I didn't know if it was.
Yeah, it's just one was for distribution, one was collection.
Okay.
Any other questions, Mr. Thomas?
Well, I do have one on, lift station number 19. That's our big boy on the island, am I correct?
That's correct.
Well, it's brand new. How come we got $884 for fixing it? Just look up above,
What page are we on?
We're still on page 6. Just go up from go up from Victoria Street, one group, pump and power equipment. And we got, you know,
Let's see.
lift station number 19, minor repairs. We got that, you know, it's, the whole thing is, why? Why are we fixing a brand
I
new
mean,
lift station?
It might have been
It looks like one of the motor repairs or what?
Yeah, because the thing is, the pumps weren't replaced in that lift station. We already had existing pumps that were just salvaged. All we did was move the existing pumps out of the old wet well and drop them in the new wet well. And so
Okay.
the pumps themselves weren't included with that construction. So chances are there was some repair work associated with them.
So we spent almost $1 million on that lift station and didn't replace the pumps.
Well, the pumps were new at the time. There's 215 horsepower, and even then, I think they went out like the first year. So I'm not surprised if there was some repair work required on them. But that was those ABS pumps. Is Pump and Power's
Yeah.
the local rep for it.
Victor, you don't remember what they did?
No, I know it was one of the pumps, but I'm trying to remember. I think they had to do the winding part on the bottom. They had to take it apart and bring in the parts for it. It was, yeah, they had to order the parts. That was the $2,200, and then I think it's reversed, because I think the repair was $2,200 and the labor was
When it
$834.
started leaking, so we had to do a whole new winding and everything on it?
Well, I mean, actually, since January, we had been bypassing the soft starts and running directly with AEP, because there had been there's an imbalance in the power from lift station 19, and actually just last week, or maybe the week before at the latest, they replaced one of the transformers to resolve that unbalanced power on the AEP side. And so that might have been contributing to some of these problems. We're not really sure, but I know.
Oh, yeah, voltage spikes will kill you.
Yeah, they were happening in January.
Okay. All right, we have a motion and a second to approve disbursements. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. This next item is I'd like to have all 5 board members present, so I would like to have a motion to maybe table this item until the next meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Cantu?
Pick one.
Mr. Thomas, second by Mr. Wells. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? That motion carries. Item 14 will be adjournment. Meeting adjourned.